If you're about to give up, don't skip this video. That silence you're feeling, that sense that nothing is happening after all your effort, is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're one step away from gaining everything. In the next few seconds, I'll prove to you that 99% of people fail exactly here, in this final test, and I'll give you the key so you won't be one of them. What you don't know is that this silence is a mechanism, a vacuum that's building up all the energy of your victory. But there's a trap, a fatal mistake that almost everyone makes at this exact moment that throws everything away. And the message your future self wants you to receive, a secret recorded by Thoth thousands of years ago, is the exact code to disarm this trap. Stay with me, because understanding this is the difference between going back to the beginning or becoming part of the 1% who make it to the end. If you've ever felt this silence before a great victory, comment below. I'm in the final test. Imagine a sculptor in front of a block of marble. Right before the final strike that will reveal the masterpiece, there is a moment of pause, of intense observation, of absolute focus. That's the moment you're in. The universe is making the final adjustments, aligning the pieces of the puzzle of your new reality. Any sudden move, any desperate act coming from fear, could crack the stone and ruin all the work. Your only task right now is to stay calm, breathe, and trust that the masterpiece is almost finished, even if you can't yet see its final form. This phenomenon is not random. It's a fundamental law of creation. In all spiritual and esoteric traditions, this moment is spoken of. It's the dark night of the soul before the dawn, the silent Saturday before the resurrection, the quantum vacuum from which all possibilities emerge. You are not alone or abandoned. You're taking part in a cosmic rite of passage, a process as ancient as time itself. Understanding the nature of this test is what separates those who live a life of continuous manifestation from those who live in an eternal cycle of almost making it. The fatal mistake most people make is trying to fill that void with noise. They seek distractions, ask for opinions, change strategies, doubt the path, and by doing that, they break the energetic coherence they had been building. They prove to the universe that their trust was conditional, that they only believed while seeing external signs. The test of silence demands unconditional trust. It asks you to become the anchor in your own inner storm, to be certainty in a sea of uncertainty. It's an invitation to mature spiritually and go from beggar to master. And the key to passing this test with mastery is not in learning a new technique or making one more effort. The key lies in deciphering ancient knowledge, a code left by a civilization that not only understood but mastered the art of architecting reality. They knew exactly why this silence happens and what it demands from us. They left a map that explains how to turn this deafening vacuum into the most spectacular symphony of your life, revealing the secret of the true architects of reality. This map takes us back in time, to the hot sands of ancient Egypt. There, a civilization flourished, not only building pyramids that defy logic and touch the skies, but also mastering the invisible laws that govern our existence. They didn't see reality as something solid and fixed. To them, it was a flow, an energetic tapestry that could be woven by consciousness. They were the architects of reality, and they knew that the universe doesn't simply respond to our superficial desires, but to the frequency we emit, to our deepest and most authentic vibration. At the heart of this wisdom was a legendary, almost mythical figure known as Thoth, the scribe of the gods, the master of wisdom. He was the one who, according to legend, recorded the secrets of the universe in artifacts that echo through the millennia, like the famous Emerald Tablets. Thoth taught that the process of creation has stages and described a crucial phenomenon he called the pre-manifestation vacuum. That is exactly the silence you are feeling now. For the Egyptians, This wasn't a period of stagnation or failure. It was the most sacred and powerful stage of all. They understood that when the outer world goes silent, it's because the invisible world is in full activity. Imagine a symphonic orchestra backstage, tuning each instrument, each musician taking their position, all in preparation for the grand opening of the curtains. That's what's happening in your life. The silence on the outside is the result of furious work being done in the invisible realms to organize your victory. A monumental energy is being gathered, aligned, and prepared to collapse into your physical world in a spectacular way. Think of every challenge you've faced so far, every door slammed in your face, every tear you've cried. Egyptian wisdom teaches us that none of that was punishment. Each one of those events was actually the gathering of raw material for your masterpiece. It was the universe collecting the necessary ingredients to build your dream. You're not waiting for a miracle to happen out of nowhere. You are living inside the process of a miracle already in progress, and this silence is proof that the construction is in its final phase. The initiates in the Egyptian mystery schools were trained to recognize and honor this vacuum. While the uninitiated would panic, they would retreat into meditation and gratitude, knowing that their only task was to maintain the frequency of receiving. They knew that any act of fear or doubt at this stage could detune the orchestra and delay the manifestation. They understood that their steadiness and trust during the silence was the final seal of approval the universe needed to deliver their request. However, Thoth's wisdom didn't just contain the map to victory, it also contained warnings. He warned of a subtle and extremely dangerous trap that appears precisely at this final stage. It's a trap so seductive because it disguises itself as a solution, as proactivity, as intelligence. It directly appeals to our need for control, to our programming that says, we have to do something to make things happen. It's an almost irresistible urge that shows up to sabotage those who are one step away from glory. This ancient warning speaks of a force that arises from within us, an impulse that compels us to act when the only action needed is stillness. It's a temptation that promises to speed up the process, but actually halts it completely. Thoth knew that mastering the urge to fall into this trap was the true final test of the initiate, the proof that they were ready to become a master of their own reality. And this trap has a name that perfectly defines its deceptive nature. This dangerous trap Thoth warned us about is desperate action. It's that moment, right at the edge of your victory, when the silence becomes unbearable and a voice inside your head starts screaming, "Do something." It insists. Call that person again. Send out one more resume. Check your email for the 10th time. Change your strategy. This one's not working. This frantic urgency to force a result is the most effective tool the old reality pattern uses to sabotage those who are about to evolve. That voice does not come from your intuition or your inner wisdom. It comes from fear. It's the echo of your old programming that believes value comes from effort, that rest is laziness, and that if nothing is happening, it's your fault. By giving in to that impulse and acting from that energy of panic and lack, you send out a deafening vibrational signal to the universe. The message is loud and clear. I don't trust that what I asked for is really coming. I doubt the process. I need to intervene and control. That vibration of distrust acts like a powerful repelling shield. It creates an energy field that pushes away exactly what you desire most and what was just about to arrive. Imagine you planted a rare and precious seed. You watered it, cared for the soil, and protected it. One day before it finally sprouts and breaks the surface, your anxiety takes over. You go there, dig up the seed to check if it's growing, and in that act, you kill the process. Desperate action does exactly that to your dreams. The real test at this stage isn't about doing more. but about having the courage and strength to do nothing that comes from panic. It's the final proof of faith, not blind faith, but conscious faith in the power you yourself set in motion. It's your ability to sit in stillness, feel the anxiety bubbling up, and still choose not to react. It's looking at your panicked mind and saying, "I see you, but I won't obey you. I trust." That attitude is what turns a candidate into a master. Many people confuse this stillness with passivity. It's not. It's active stillness, a conscious and powerful non-action. It's the strength of a mountain that remains unmoved during the storm. It's the confidence of the farmer who, after planting, knows his next job is to wait for nature to do its part. Forcing the process at this point is like trying to help a butterfly out of its cocoon. You might manage to get it out, but its wings will be weak and it'll never be able to fly. The struggle is necessary, but it happens inside the cocoon, in silence. Resisting the urge of desperate action is perhaps the hardest and most counterintuitive act in the entire manifestation process. Our society trained us to be problem solvers, to always be busy, to value action above all. That's why staying still feels wrong, feels irresponsible. But the spiritual truth is that there are moments when the most powerful action is confident surrender. It's letting go of control and allowing the higher intelligence of the universe to finish the work you started. But how? In practice, do you resist this overwhelming urge? How do you keep the right vibration when your mind is on fire? It's not just about willpower. There is a way to shift your internal frequency, to shield yourself against the energy of panic. There is a specific vibration, almost like an energetic cheat code, that ancient masters use to navigate this critical phase. A frequency that not only protects but accelerates manifestation exponentially. The answer to resisting desperate action isn't in your logical mind, but in your body, in your energy. Every emotion you feel isn't just a feeling. It's a vibrational frequency you emit to the universe. Fear, doubt, and anxiety, which feed desperate action, vibrate in low and contracted frequencies. On the other hand, emotions like love, joy, and especially gratitude vibrate at very high and expansive frequencies. The key is to consciously shift from one frequency to another, and that's a skill you can learn. Scientists and mystics have long referred to a specific frequency, 528 Hz. Known as the miracle frequency or the love frequency, it's associated with DNA repair, transformation, and harmony. But you don't need a tuning fork or a machine to access it. You are the machine. Your heart is the most powerful frequency generator there is. The secret to activating it is to stop obsessively thinking about what you want and start deeply feeling gratitude for already having received it. Close your eyes for a moment, wherever you are. Take a deep breath, releasing the tension in your shoulders. Now, instead of visualizing the image of your desire, bring into your body the emotion you would feel if it were already real. Feel the relief flooding your chest. Feel the peace of mind from knowing the struggle is over. Feel the genuine joy and the smile that naturally spreads across your face. It's not about fake it till you make it. It's about feel it till you become it. This is quantum physics in action. By generating this emotion of anticipated gratitude, you perform internal alchemy. You change your energetic signature from someone who is asking and vibrating in lack to someone who is receiving and vibrating in wholeness. You stop being a hunter chasing the butterfly and become the garden itself, effortlessly attracting it. That frequency shift is the most powerful signal you can send to the universe, confirming that you're ready and open to receive. You become a living magnet for your manifestation. Practice this every day, especially when the silence feels the loudest. Turn gratitude into your default state. Be thankful for the air you breathe, the bed you sleep in, the fact that you're alive to witness your own miracle unfolding. The more you anchor your body in the frequency of gratitude, the less room there is for fear and doubt. The 528 Hz frequency becomes your vibrational armor, repelling negativity and the temptation of desperate action. This isn't a mental exercise. You need to feel it in your body. The mind can lie, but the body and heart always tell the truth about your vibration. When you truly feel gratitude, your electromagnetic field expands and harmonizes. You become coherent. And a coherent human being is the most powerful creative force in the universe. You stop swimming against the current and begin to flow with it, toward the ocean of your fulfillment. And it's exactly at this point, when you start to consistently hold this new frequency, that something extraordinary and magical begins to happen. The universe, which once seemed to be in indifferent silence, notices your change in tuning. It recognizes that you passed the trust test, and in response, it stops being silent and starts sending you little winks, coded signs for only you to understand. As soon as you anchor your energy in the frequency of receiving, the deafening silence breaks. But the break doesn't come with your final manifestation all at once. Not yet. First, the universe begins to communicate with you in a playful and mysterious way. It starts sending what I call winks, small, coded confirmations that your new frequency has been received and that your request is being processed and delivered. It's reality's way of saying, I heard you, we're in sync, keep going. The famous psychologist Carl Jung gave a clinical name to this phenomenon: synchronicity, or meaningful coincidences. But it's much more than that. You'll start seeing repeated number sequences everywhere. 1111 on the clock, 444 on a license plate, a purchase total of 22.122. Don't dismiss it as chance. These are vibrational markers, like mileage signs on a road, confirming that you're on the right path and at the right pace. The communication won't just come through numbers. You'll be thinking about a question, and when you turn on the radio, the lyrics of the song playing will give you the exact answer you needed. You'll open a book randomly, and your eyes will land on a sentence that seems written just for you in that exact moment. You'll overhear a conversation between strangers on the street, and they'll say something that solves a puzzle in your mind. These aren't coincidences. They're the universe using the language of symbols to talk directly to you. At this stage, your intuition becomes your superpower, your universal translator. You'll start to just know things without any logical explanation. You'll feel a sudden pull to go somewhere different, and there you'll find a crucial person or piece of information, or you'll feel an unexplained aversion to an opportunity that looks perfect on paper, only to discover later that it would have been a disaster. Your intuition becomes your internal GPS, guiding you precisely through the path unfolding before you. It's essential that you recognize and give thanks for each of these winks. Every time you notice a synchronicity, smile and say thank you in your heart. That act of acknowledgement strengthens the connection. It's like a dialogue. The universe winks, you smile back, and then the universe winks again, more often and more clearly. You create a positive feedback loop that accelerates alignment and makes the journey more fun and magical, turning the anxiety of waiting into an exciting treasure hunt. These synchronicities are the orchestra warming up before the main show. They're proof that you're no longer operating only on blind faith, but now with subtle evidence. You're learning to read the secret language of reality. A language that was always there, but that you couldn't perceive while you were tuned to the frequency of fear and doubt. You're remembering that you are an active participant in a cosmic conversation. But within this flow of signs and confirmations, there's a specific type of synchronicity, a final sign that is much stranger, more personal, and more powerful than all the others. It doesn't point to the future but comes straight from your past. It's an event that usually happens 24 to 48 hours before everything changes, and it presents itself as the most challenging test of all, disguised as an irresistible offer. Right when the synchronicities become constant and you feel more aligned than ever, get ready. Right before your big victory materializes, the universe will send you one last powerful test, the most clever of them all. I call it the Ghost of Plan B test. It won't come as an obstacle or a problem, but rather as a seemingly perfect solution, a tempting opportunity that echoes directly from your past, from the old identity you're about to leave behind forever. This ghost can manifest in many forms. It might be a job offer from that place you hated, but that offered a false sense of financial security. It might be an unexpected message from an ex-talis, representing that safe and predictable relationship that suffocated your soul. It might be a business proposal that would take you back to your old career, the one you left behind to follow your true purpose. It's always an upgraded version of your past, making the temptation even greater. This event is not a sign for you to go back. It's not the universe telling you that you made the wrong decision. It's the exact opposite. It's the final test of loyalty to your new reality. The universe is asking you one last question, face to face, in a very practical way. Are you really serious about this new life? Do you truly believe you deserve the future you asked for? Or itai, at the first chance to return to the mediocre safety of what you already know, will you back down? It's your old reality, your old identity, fighting not to die. It knows it's about to be dissolved, and, in a final survival effort, it presents you with its best offer. It tries to convince you that change is dangerous, that the new is uncertain, and that it's better to stick with the devil you know. It's an identity test. Who are you really? The person you were or the person you are becoming? Your answer to this offer defines everything. The way to pass this test isn't by fighting or getting angry or even ignoring it. The right way is to look at the ghost, at the offer, with awareness. Acknowledge it for what it is, an echo, a memory. Then smile. Thank it sincerely for the lesson and the role it played in your journey so far. And then, with calm and unwavering conviction, say, "No, thank you. I choose my future." This act of conscious and grateful refusal is incredibly powerful. By saying no to your safe past, you're actually shouting a resounding yes to your extraordinary future. You're declaring to the universe, without a shadow of doubt, that your choice is final. You're burning the bridge back to your old island, making the journey to the new continent your only option. You prove that your faith isn't just an idea. It's a decision embodied in a concrete act of refusal. And it is in the exact moment that you turn down your past with gratitude and love that you not only pass the final test, you trigger a quantum mechanism. You break the final seal. In that moment, you stop being someone who is waiting for the manifestation and become the manifestation itself. You activate the deepest secret of all, the mechanism that finally fulfills the promise that your future self is about to take over. This is the turning point. This is the secret that only a small fraction of humanity understands and experiences. By passing the ghost of the past test, by turning down the safety of what was in favor of the greatness of what will be, you trigger a fundamental quantum shift. You're no longer in the process of trying to become the person who has your desires. In the blink of an eye, you become that person, here and now. The separation between you and your goal dissolves completely. It's at this point that your future self, that version of you who has already won, who already lives the reality you dreamed of, stops being a distant possibility on some alternate timeline. It becomes your dominant identity in the present moment. And it is that version, your highest self, that sends you the true message of Thoth, a message not read on stone tablets, but felt in every cell of your body, a direct transmission from consciousness to consciousness. The message doesn't come in audible words, but as an overwhelming state of being. It's a wave of absolute certainty that floods your entire system, washing away any trace of doubt or fear. It's the silent but unmistakable voice of your own soul, your future version, saying, "You did it. The struggle is over. The test is complete. Now, your only task is to receive. Just receive." You feel a deep relaxation, the peace of someone who's arrived home after a long journey. From this moment on, you stop operating from hope and start operating from certainty. Hope still contains the seed of doubt, but certainty is a state of pure knowing. Start asking yourself, how would this new version of me, the one who has already won, walk through the world? How would they speak? What kind of decisions would they make today? They certainly wouldn't worry about how or when things will happen, because they already live in the final result. They act with the calm and confidence of someone who already knows the end of the movie. By embodying this new identity, you perform the most powerful act of magic there is. You collapse time. You're no longer pulling a distant future into your present. You're jumping straight into that future and making it your now. The external reality, which is always a mirror of your internal identity, has no choice but to frantically reorganize itself to match who you've become. The puzzle pieces start falling into place at lightning speed. You didn't attract the victory. You became the victory. You didn't manifest success. You became success. That identity shift is the most powerful force in the universe because it changes the cause, not just the effect. You stop paddling against the current, trying to get to a destination. You become the current itself, flowing inevitably toward the ocean. You've won, not in the future. You've won now. And that inner victory is what precedes every external win. Now that the activation has occurred, and you've become the version of yourself that has already won, it's time to make this cosmic promotion official. We need to anchor this new identity into the fabric of reality, so it's not just a passing feeling, but your new permanent truth. For that, there's a declaration, a power decree that acts as your signature on a new contract with the universe. It's not an empty affirmation repeated without emotion. It's an act of sovereignty, a declaration of independence from your old identity. It's the moment you claim your power as a conscious creator, making it clear to all the forces of the universe who's in charge of your life from now on. With the unshakable certainty now flooding your being, find a moment of stillness, take a deep breath, and declare, either out loud so the world hears, or in your heart so your soul resonates. I am the reality where everything has already worked out. Allow yourself to feel the weight, the gravity, and the absolute power in those words. The words I am are the most potent in all language, considered in many traditions to be the very name of God, the primal creative force. By using them, you're not asking, you're identifying with the source itself, affirming your divine nature and your power to shape existence. By declaring that you are the reality where everything has already worked out, you execute an extraordinary quantum maneuver. You stop being a mere reactive character in a story happening to you and take your true place as the author, the screenwriter, and the director of your own life experience. You're no longer subject to the whims of fate or external circumstances. You become the primary cause, the point of origin from which your new reality emanates. It's a shift in perspective that fundamentally alters your relationship with the world and with power. From this moment on, you're no longer in the game of asking, waiting, or wishing. Those are states that imply lack, that assumes separation between you and your good. Now, you're declaring your natural state of being. This declaration becomes your new personal constitution, the fundamental law on which your new life will be built. It acts like a universal solvent, dissolving any remaining doubt, any residual fear trying to rise from the ashes of your old identity. It's your final word on the matter, and the universe listens closely. This declaration informs every atom, every particle of energy in the universe, that your decision is final, absolute, and irrevocable. It's a clear command that reverberates through the quantum field, instructing reality to conform to your new truth. Repeat this decree whenever you need to remember who you are now. Use it as an anchor whenever the waves of the old world try to shake you. It's not an attempt to convince yourself. It's a reminder of the truth you've already embodied. It's your new identity speaking. This act of sovereignty is the final seal on your passport to a new dimension of existence. It's the key that locks the door to your past and opens the gate to a future of flow and alignment. You're no longer at the mercy of reality. Reality is now at your command, awaiting your instructions. You've become a point of order in chaos, a source of certainty in a world full of uncertainties. Your vibration becomes the law that governs your personal universe, and the peace that comes from that certainty is indescribable. And from the moment this decree is made with total conviction and feeling, the universe, which operates under precise laws of cause and effect, has no choice but to respond. It must present the physical proof of your new identity. And get ready, because when clarity is absolute, the universe's response is not just certain, it's shockingly fast. What was once a drip of synchronicities is about to become an avalanche of concrete evidence. After your sovereignty decree echoes through the universe, get ready to witness a phenomenon I call the domino effect. The universe loves clarity and hates vacuums. When your decision is absolute and your identity is clear, reality rushes to fill the space between your internal vibration and your external experience. What was once a hard struggle, an uphill climb, now becomes an effortless flow, like floating down a calm river on a sunny day. Resistance simply vanishes, because there's nothing left in you for reality to resist. That phone call you were anxiously waiting for, it doesn't just come, it comes with a completely different energy. The person on the other end seems more eager to talk to you than you are to them, offering better terms than you imagined. That business opportunity that seemed locked behind 7 doors? The doors don't just open, they get blown off the hinges and a red carpet is rolled out for you. The right people start showing up in your life like they were divinely scheduled to meet you. The money you needed for a project or to pay off a debt. It doesn't show up as a small favor or a hard-to-get loan. It comes from a completely unexpected source, in a way you could have never planned. It might be an old investment that suddenly increases in value, a gift, a job that appears out of nowhere with upfront payment. The universe is infinitely creative in its solutions when you stop dictating the how and simply lock in on the what. You'll realize reality is far more generous and clever than your limited mind could ever conceive. This is no longer about subtle winks or number synchronicities. This is physical evidence, undeniable proof, matter reorganizing in real time to match your new identity. It's the script you wrote in your heart being played out on the world stage. You'll witness a cascade of events, a sequence of happy coincidences, each more impressive than the last, all confirming that you are, in fact, the master of your energy and therefore the architect of your reality. You'll start living in a state of awe. Things will just work out. Obstacles that once looked like mountains will turn out to be mere holograms that vanish as you approach. People who used to be hostile or indifferent will suddenly become cooperative and friendly. This happens because by changing your vibration, you change the channel of reality you're tuned into. You literally moved into a version of Earth where things flow more easily for you because you're in harmony with that flow. Be ready to receive quickly. Many people ask for change, but when it starts happening fast, they get scared and unconsciously sabotage the process. Embrace the speed. Say yes quickly. Deeply thank each domino that falls, because that speeds up the fall of the next one. This is the universe celebrating your decision, validating your new identity with tangible gifts. It's your reward for having had the courage to move through the silence and the tests. But as these external wins stack up and your new life starts taking form, a new layer of the process reveals itself. You begin to realize that your victory didn't just alter your future, it also changed your past. You're invited to understand the true nature of time, not as a straight line, but as something far more fluid and magical, something you can rewrite from the power of now. And this understanding is what permanently solidifies your power. Here's a secret that manifestation masters and quantum physicists deeply understand. Time, as we perceive it, is an illusion. We were taught to see time as a straight, unchangeable line, with a fixed past, a fleeting present, and an uncertain future. But the truth is that past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in the vast field of all possibilities. When you activated your future self, you didn't pull something from a distant future. You simply tuned in and merged with a version of you that already existed on a parallel frequency, in the eternal now. Now that you operate from this new identity, you'll start noticing this truth in real life. Your perception of time will drastically shift. You'll get flashes of insight about the future, not as anxious predictions, but as calm knowing. You'll know the outcome of a situation before it happens, feel which path to take at a crossroads, and your decisions will become incredibly accurate and efficient. You stop trying to guess the future and start remembering it, because you're already living from your successful endpoint. Strangely enough, and maybe more profoundly, your past will begin to change. That doesn't mean factual events will be altered, but their energy and meaning will be completely rewritten. You'll remember old events, traumas, and challenges, but the emotional charge they carried will be gone. Challenges that once felt like failures or injustices will now be seen with crystal clarity as the absolutely necessary steps that prepared you for this exact moment. You'll feel a wave of genuine gratitude for every hardship. This phenomenon is what I call temporal collapse. Your future self, who is now your present self, is emitting such a powerful frequency that it travels backward along your timeline, healing and rewriting the energy of every past event. It's as if you're sending light from your present to illuminate the shadows of your past. By doing this, you free up energy that was trapped in regret, guilt, and resentment, bringing it back into the now, which amplifies your personal power and vitality even more. You're no longer living on a single timeline, being dragged along by it. You're operating from the center of a circle, the power point of the present moment, from which you can access and influence all directions, past and future. You become the master of your time, rather than its victim. The feeling of racing against the clock disappears, replaced by a sense of abundant and spacious time. You realize you have all the time in the world to accomplish what you came here to do, because you already are the accomplishment. This new relationship with time is freeing. It releases you from anxiety about the future and the weight of the past. You begin to live in a state of graceful presence, where all that matters is the quality of your energy and consciousness in this exact moment. You understand that by taking care of the now, the future takes care of itself, and the past heals automatically. You become a temporal harmony point, radiating peace in all directions of your existence. And by mastering this fluid perception of time, you access the most powerful tool for continuous and effortless creation. You stop seeing manifestation as a process of going from point A to point B, and start understanding it as an act of simply being at point B, allowing the universe to reconfigure the journey. This leads you into a new state of existence, one that goes beyond the need to try to manifest anything. You've reached a level of consciousness that very few people ever reach in their lifetimes. At this point, the cycle of wanting, visualizing, struggling, and manifesting becomes obsolete. It was the training tool, the training wheels. But now, you've learned how to balance. You've entered a state of being I call active receiving. This means that your default vibration, your natural resting state, is now so high, so clear, and so aligned with Source that the universe continuously brings you what's best for you, often before you even realize you need it. Imagine having the smartest, most intuitive, most powerful personal assistant in the universe working for you 24/7. An assistant that knows your deepest desires, anticipates your needs, and organizes reality so that the right solutions, opportunities, and people just show up in your life at the perfect moment. This isn't a fantasy dream. It's the functional description of living in a state of active receiving. Your high frequency does the heavy lifting, and your only job is to handle the blessings as they come. Your main practice now shifts. It's no longer about doing or pushing, but about refining your ability to receive. And that's an art in itself. It means saying yes more often to unexpected opportunities your logical mind might question. It means learning to accept a compliment with grace and without embarrassment, just saying thank you and absorbing that positive energy. It means allowing help to come to you, delegating and trusting others instead of trying to carry the whole world on your shoulders. Many people are excellent at asking and working hard, but terrible at receiving. They feel unworthy, uncomfortable, or indebted when something good happens to them. That's a scarcity program that blocks the flow. Active receiving is the art of keeping your hands, your mind, and your heart open, knowing, on a cellular level, that you are absolutely worthy of all the abundance, love, and joy the universe wants to give you. You understand that receiving doesn't make you small. It honors the giver. Whether it's a person or the universe itself, you're no longer chasing butterflies, running around desperately with a net. You've become the garden itself. A garden so beautiful, vibrant, and well-nourished that butterflies naturally come to you in abundance. They come because your garden is the best place to be. Your energy becomes so attractive that the right opportunities, wealth, and relationships are magnetically drawn to you. Effort is replaced by attraction. Struggle is replaced by allowing. This state of being is the true meaning of living in abundance. It's not about having an unlimited bank account, but knowing that your needs will always be met, that you are safe, supported, and guided at all times. It's a deep inner peace that comes from absolute trust in the flow of life. You stop worrying about the future because you're living in a present where everything is already taken care of. You become a master of flow, no longer a rock fighting against it. But with this new state of grace and continuous flow comes one final, crucial responsibility. It's a universal law that ensures this flow not only continues, but expands exponentially. Ignoring this law can cause the flow to slow down or even stop. It's the key to turning a lucky phase into a permanent state of being, and it involves looking beyond yourself. The final lesson from Thoth and all the great masters of wisdom, from Buddha to Jesus, is the understanding of the law of circulation. The energy of the universe, manifesting as love, money, ideas, and opportunities, was not made to be hoarded. Its nature is to flow. Imagine a river. If you build a dam and stop its flow, the water becomes stagnant, muddy, and lifeless. The same happens with abundance in your life. If you hoard it out of fear of losing it, you create an energetic blockage, and the flow coming to you inevitably slows down and stops. Now that you've entered a state of constant receiving, your new and most important mission is to become a conscious channel for that abundance. You become a passageway, not a dead end. And this goes way beyond simply donating money to charity. It means making generosity a way of life. It means giving your time to listen to a friend, sharing your knowledge with someone just starting out, offering a genuine smile to a stranger, sending positive energy to those who are suffering. Every conscious act of giving, done from a place of fullness and not obligation, anchors your high vibration even more. When you help someone rise, you rise with them. When you share a brilliant idea that could benefit someone else without fearing they'll steal it, the universe sends you 10 more even brighter ideas. By becoming a source of blessings and value for others, you ensure your own well never runs dry, because you're directly connected to the infinite source. Generosity, then, isn't primarily a moral obligation or an act of sacrifice. In the physics of consciousness, it's a prosperity strategy. It's the smartest way to ensure that flow in your life stays constant, growing, and healthy. The universe operates on a feedback system. The more value you inject into the system, the more value the system returns to you, often in unexpected and amplified ways. You stop thinking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" This completely changes how you interact with the world. You stop seeing others as competitors and start seeing them as partners in the dance of creation. You celebrate other people's success genuinely, knowing their abundance doesn't diminish yours. It proves there's enough for everyone. You become an agent of collective prosperity. Your presence starts enriching every environment you walk into because you carry the frequency of wholeness and sharing. Be aware of where you can add value. It might be leaving a generous tip, complimenting someone's work, referring a client to a colleague, or simply holding the door open for someone. Don't underestimate the power of these small acts. Each one is a declaration to the universe that you live in abundance and trust the flow. You're constantly scattering seeds of goodwill, and the harvest is always guaranteed and abundant. And this practice of conscious circulation prepares you for the true endgame. It elevates you from a player who's learned to win the manifestation game to someone who can begin to create entirely new games. It transitions you from the role of a successful individual to that of a transformational force in the world. A true reality creator. Up until this point, you've mastered the personal manifestation game. You've learned the rules, passed the tests, and can now create a life of flow and abundance for yourself. But what if I told you that all of this entire journey, was just the tutorial? It was the basic training to prepare you for your true purpose. By consistently living as your future self and actively practicing the law of circulation, you transcend the role of manifester and evolve into a world builder. What does that mean? It means you're no longer just creating things for yourself within the existing reality. Your very existence, your vibrational frequency, starts to create and sustain new realities for others. Your elevated energy becomes so potent and stable that it inspires and activates dormant potential in those around you, often without you even needing to say a single word. Your presence becomes catalytic. People feel more hopeful, more creative, and more empowered just by being near you. Your business, for example, doesn't just thrive financially. It becomes an ecosystem that builds community, supports its employees holistically, and offers real value that improves lives. Your romantic relationship isn't just fulfilling for you. It becomes a living example of what's possible in love, inspiring other couples to seek deeper connection. Your health journey doesn't just heal your body. It becomes a story that gives hope to others facing similar challenges. Your personal journey stops being about hitting the next goal or acquiring the next thing. The new joy comes from watching how beautiful, expansive, and impactful your world, your sphere of influence, can become. You find deep purpose in being a gardener of realities, helping others bloom. You stop playing the finite game, which is about winning or losing, and step into the infinite game, whose only goal is to keep playing, expanding joy, awareness, and abundance for everyone. At this level, you become a true partner of the universe. You're no longer just asking it for things. You become one of its most valuable agents for the evolution of consciousness on the planet. The universe starts entrusting you with bigger projects and missions, knowing you're a pure and effective channel for its will. You may feel guided to start a new project, write a book, create a foundation, or simply be present for specific people at crucial moments. You become the hands and voice of Source in the world. If you've made it to this point in the video, I need you to pause for a moment and truly understand what this means. You didn't just watch content online. You completed an energetic activation journey. Think about how many distractions competed for your attention, how many times your mind might have doubted or resisted. The vast majority of people quit during the early parts, clicked on another video, got lost in thought. They gave up here, exactly as they do in life when silence settles in or the path requires faith. Your perseverance to reach this final point is not an accident. It's the physical, tangible proof that you possess the tenacity, vibrational resonance, and spiritual hunger that define the 1% truly ready to awaken. You passed the endurance test before the video even ended. Your ability to stay focused and absorb this deep knowledge shows that your soul was already prepared to receive it. You're not learning something new. You're remembering something your soul has always known. The message of Thoth, sent through your future self, wasn't just a distant promise. It was actually a diagnosis of your current state. The very fact that you were magnetically drawn to this title, to this topic, and had the resonance to stay until the end confirms that you were already on the threshold of your great victory. This knowledge didn't find you by accident. You attracted it because your frequency was already aligning with the frequency of the solution. This video didn't give you any power that wasn't already inside you. It didn't grant you any magical ability. It simply acted as a tuning fork, helping your internal string vibrate at its correct note. It gave you a map, an instruction manual for a machine you've always had, but maybe didn't know how to fully operate. The victory was already yours by right. You just needed to consciously claim it. So receive this in your heart. Welcome. Welcome to the group of those who refuse to live on the surface, who have the courage to dive deep, to question reality, and to claim their innate power. Welcome to the club of those who understand they're not victims of circumstance, but the creators of their experiences. Your presence here is your initiation ceremony. You don't need anyone else's validation. Your very journey to this point is your proof. You're no longer outside looking in. You are inside. You cross the portal. You pass the guardians, who were your own fears and doubts. You crack the codes, which were the universal laws of vibration and identity. You reach the center of the labyrinth, where the treasure is not gold or jewels, but the discovery of who you truly are, a sovereign, powerful, and infinitely creative being. Now, with this new awareness and this new identity firmly established, there's only one last thing to do. It's not a task or an effort, but a consecration. It's the step that seals this victory forever and transforms it from a one-time event into your new and permanent way of life, ensuring the magic never fades again. Your learning journey doesn't end here. It actually begins on a new level. You've crossed the portal, you received the message, you decoded the secrets, you won. Your final mission, starting from this very moment, is simple in instruction but profound in practice. Become the message. It's no longer enough to know these truths intellectually. Now, your task and your privilege is to embody them, to live in such a way that your life becomes the living, undeniable proof of everything that's been said here. Be the calm in the middle of someone else's storm. When everyone around you is panicking, be the anchor of peace, not by repressing your emotions, but by staying connected to a deeper truth. Be the certainty in the middle of collective doubt. When people are despairing about the future, be the confident presence that reminds them everything is unfolding perfectly. Be the gratitude before the evidence. Celebrate your blessings before they manifest physically. Teaching others by your example the power of embodied faith. Every time you choose to operate from your future self, every time you respond to a challenge with wisdom instead of reaction, you're not just benefiting yourself. You're sending a powerful wave of possibility into the collective consciousness. You're literally making it easier for the next person to wake up, because your light lights the path for them. You become a lighthouse, and a single lighthouse can guide thousands of ships safely to shore. If you've made it this far, I want you to comment, "I'm already a winner." That phrase will mark that you truly passed the test all the way to the end. And if you'd like to support this channel more directly, there's a link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute. Any help, no matter how small, means a lot to me and to the growth of this work, so we can spread more content like this out into the world. But know this, just the fact that you made it here already helps me a lot. You can also share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And before you go, I've prepared a special video waiting for you. So don't leave just yet. Click the video that's showing up on your screen now, and I'll meet you there.